All right. Our first speaker for the event today is Keith Kimball. Keith, are you here? Yes. Come on up. Everybody give a warm round of applause for Keith Kimball. Keith is one of our intrepid Orange County residents that I'm especially grateful for speaking today. He is a Second Amendment advocate, a proud husband, and father of 10 amazing children. Good for you. I only have one, it's enough. He's a patriot, oath keeper, and a working man. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah. Hey. Trying to make it stay put. Can you hear me? No. Of course not.
You can take it out of the stand.
There we go.
I don't want to hold it. That's perfect.
Rockstar. Okay. I'm not very good at speaking. I can write. So I wrote some stuff so I don't just babble.
Stay close on that microphone.
Okay, sorry. So, I've been hearing a lot about Oath Keepers lately, and they tell a lot of lies about us. We're not a bunch of racists. We're not anti-government. We're not we don't do violent, intimidating people and all that stuff they say about us. But we're pro-Constitution, and we're pro-America. And if being pro-Constitution makes us anti-government, then there's something wrong with that.
Right.
The government doesn't give us our rights. We were born with our rights intact as Americans. The government was meant to manage our affairs as a country and protect our rights. Excuse me. The Supreme Court was meant to be a buffer between us and the government to protect us from the government infringing on our rights. I'm getting lost. And the government seems to want to rule now. And the Supreme Court has got to where they're trying to reinterpret the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights isn't even a Bill of Rights anymore. It's a bill of limited privileges. And that's not America. We lose more of our freedom every year. They take it away and sell it back to us. And licenses and permits. But we can go around for years and years, forever, about why we have the Second Amendment, why it's important, what its purpose is. But the truth is that the Founding Fathers guaranteed us in the Second Amendment that we would always have the right to defend ourselves, that no man would ever have to be oppressed by anybody else, that we can we should never be at the mercy of anybody, ever, as a people, as a country, or as individuals. There's a million examples of people who have been oppressed by their neighbors, by their governments, by their husbands, their parents, and nobody should ever be subjected to that. There's a story a few years back, a guy in Chicago. There was an old Jewish man who lived alone, bad neighborhood, and there were these kids in the neighborhood who they just mistreated the old man. They took over his apartment. They beat him. They raped him. And they just tortured this poor man for 2 years. They took every penny of money he got. And I can't help thinking, well, how much difference just a gun, just a little 38 pistol would have made in this old man's life. He lived in hell until the day he died for the last 2 years of his life. And nobody should ever have to live through that. I had a friend a few years back who was just walking to his car from a movie theater in Raleigh, and a man ran up on him and stabbed him in the heart and almost killed him just to rob him. If you think that we're paranoid, or that there's not people that want to hurt you, I don't know what kind of world you live in. That's not the real world. There are people out there that will take your children and ruin their lives forever. So, we should always have the right to protect ourselves from that. And there's always the potential for corruption in government. We see it all the time. Corrupt policemen, corrupt militaries around the world are oppressing people. And if you think that we're immune from that, then that's just foolishness. But I'm not a good speaker, but I kind of want to get out of the way and hear what Mark Robinson has to say. So thank you.